What's going on, man?
Shit, man. MileHighminute, man. Denver, Colorado. Tapping in with Tampa. Shout out Kodak. Blow up, man. Lit. I appreciate you for tapping in, man, and connecting the dots a little bit, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you know that, man. You know, like we were saying before, Sperry Springer, you know, he had put me on with you a while ago, probably like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And when you had hit me up saying he was gonna come to Florida, I was like, you know what, we're gonna have to link up, man. At least get the interviews in, man, you know?
Yeah, I've got to, man. Shout out Sperry, man.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
Appreciate you too, man, for getting on the platform, man.
Oh, yeah. Nah, Sperry put me on you too. I seen y'all work together like a year ago. So, you know, we doing what bloggers do. We network, we connect, you feel me? Try to figure out how we're gonna push our brands and our scenes to that next level, man. So I came out here. You were the first blogger I thought of. Actually, I think tagged you too when I posted about it. So I appreciate it, man.
No doubt, man. So, you know, this being the first time on my platform, you know, I want to give the viewers a little background, who you are before you started the big media stuff. So,
yeah.
You know, give them a little summary, man. How was it? Where was you born? Where was you raised?
Yeah. So really, I mean, I was born in a city, Fort Collins, outside of Denver, but I don't really remember that. I was really young. So I grew up mostly in Denver, in like the surrounding metro area, the north part of Denver. Thor in Arvada growing up, and then I kind of moved around, lived in Denver here, lived in everywhere, man. That's besides the point.
How was it though growing up? Like, you know, anything that you could say that you could remember growing up over there?
Yeah, I mean, it was dope, bro. I spent time in the city, so like, it was never really like, from an outside-in perspective, when you think of Colorado, you think of, you know, the mountains and this snowboarding and skiing. Don't get me wrong, I've went to the mountains a lot. I love it. It's dope to go hiking, peaceful. But like growing up, we weren't really snowboarding and like skiing and shit like that. Like we were hooping, you know what I'm saying? Like just trying to get some money, like just live life like any other kid, bro. You know, I grew up on Section 8. It wasn't like super treacherous or like gang banged out or nothing like that. So I'm like looking at these animals in the background, trying to figure out what that is. But yeah, it wasn't like super like gang banged out too much, you know what I'm saying? But it was a lot of drugs, like a lot of like, you know, regular hard drugs and shit like that I was around, you feel me? So, bro, no, I skated a little bit too, skateboarded, but that was really it, bro. Like just trying to get some money, you feel me? And I fell in love with rap music when I was young. First it was probably like the Eminem, 50 Cents, shit like that, but as I got older, it kind of shifted. I got into MileHighminute and stuff.
Okay, so, you know, let's speak about that, man. What's the beginning? How did all that start for you, getting into the media?
So, when I first became an entrepreneur, it was like, I was selling vintage clothes, like sneakers and different stuff like that, and reselling, you know, online. I'd go to events, selling stuff. I still do to this day, just not as much because of MileHighminute. But I would link with rappers sometimes. So like, you know, for example, Lil Mosey came out. He was on the freshman list a couple years back, and they was like, hey, he needs some shoes for his show. Pulled up with the shoes. We bought them right there for the show. And I was watching like Say Cheese, No Jumper, you know, like Zach TV Recipes, all the main platforms. And I went to a Colorado show, and I was like, there's a dope artist, Young Fiji. He was hard. I was like, damn, we got rappers out here, like, because we're not known for raps, you know, like the hip hop scene out there. So I started getting curious. You know, it's my home state, and I'm trying to find like interviews and shit like that of rappers in Colorado. I can't find any. So that's when the light bulb hit off in my head, and I was like, man, I love rap. I don't know how to rap. How can I get involved? Let me start a media platform. And then we just started interviewing whoever, really, like anyone who had somewhat of a buzz in Colorado. And it was like immediately, I knew it worked because our first couple videos were hitting like 1,000 views pretty easily. And like, you could tell like people weren't used to it out there. So it was unique. This was like 2018, so like, you know, there were platforms, but it wasn't that popping yet. So it just hit, bro. It worked. And you know, I just kind of fell in love with it, bro. Like after that, like it was fun, and I just wanted to help put like other people who grew up like in similar situations, you know, like help them focus on music and like better things rather than like the streets and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because it's tough, bro. Like, you know, I haven't, like I said, I never was gangbanger or nothing, but I dealt with a little street shit, and it just like, you know, it was tough, bro. So I wanted to help just like provide value and put on for the scene and shit, you feel me? Like, there's a lot of talent in Colorado, you know, so.
For sure. Oh, where did the name come from? How did you come up with that?
Well, Denver's the Mile High city, so.
Okay. You just put that two and two together?
Yeah, like, I was talking to the homie at the time about names, and it just like, MileHighMinute, I don't know, it stuck, bro. Like we wrote like Colorado comment, like different ideas. We were in my apartment at the time, my room, and it just stuck, MileHighMinute, and like I just ran with it ever since, bro. Like it just sounded right to me, you know what I'm saying? It was like about the city, but it was still versatile enough to where like I could still go out of state and work, you feel me? Like, so I think it stuck, you know what I'm saying? It's a good name.
What was your first interview that you had that was considered like popping? Like when you noticed you're like, I can go somewhere with this.
So I'll say two. The first one that made me feel like, okay, we actually doing something with this was probably the Shawn Cotton interview with Say Cheese. That was like just to meet up with really like one of the goats of this media shit, and like kind of pick his brain and just see how much love he showed, and like him actually being willing to work with us. I was like, damn, we could actually do something with this. So that was probably like the big first moment where I was like, damn, like we could really go somewhere with this. But the first kind of viral interview actually was probably either FBP Mo or Billionaire Black. FBP Mo is a Denver artist who, you know, he was doing millions and shit. He's pretty big out there. I think that hit like 20K, 20-some K. And then Billionaire Black one probably did like, I dropped it in clips. So I think a couple clips hit over 50K, and then they, you know, 10, 20K, you know, overall probably 2 to 300K between that interview. So like, those were kind of like some of the first viral interviews that I was like, okay, you know, we doing something here.
Okay, so you know, let's backtrack a little bit. I know you just said you did an interview with Shawn Cotton.
Yeah.
Can you break that down? How did that get into process? What was your steps to making that interview happen?
That was crazy, because honestly, bro, at that time I was like sleeping in my car, sleeping in my office, bro. Like, you know, I probably could have just got a regular job. Actually, I did have a regular job, but I was working part-time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I probably could have went full-time and like got an apartment, like just been in a better position, but I felt like I really wanted to grow this business. So I intentionally like made less money from like working a job so I could focus more time on the business and grow the business. Because at that time, you know, when you first started, you ain't making nothing.
Sure.
I hit up Shawn out of nowhere because I was watching Say Cheese interviews, and I was just getting inspired by his story. And like, you know, I hit him up on Instagram. He would never respond because, you know, he's popping on Instagram. He's popping on Twitter too, but I hit him up on Twitter one day, and I was like, hey, like, how much to like fly you out and do an interview with you in Denver? He responded like, I want to say within a couple hours. He was like, I'm on my way to Denver right now.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was so random. It was random because he was actually going out to Denver to watch the Sixers. He's from Philly. The Sixers play the Nuggets. And man, he popped out, and the next day we did an interview, and I was so nervous, bro, but I had all my questions ready. And it was like, I want to say manifestation in God, bro, like, because that type of shit don't really happen like that. Like, it was perfect timing when I hit him up to when he was planning on coming out to Denver. So we tapped in, did the interview, and you know what I'm saying, showed love. Like, I'm not gonna say we're best friends or nothing. He's busy, he's probably a millionaire, got Lambos and shit, but it taught me a lot just seeing him do that. It made me realize, like, you know, like sometimes it's you do gotta show love, you know what I'm saying? You don't gotta show love to everyone, but like, he's wanting to show love to my platform, which was small at the time, and it was just a blessing, bro. And then he bought merch. I offered to pay him to do the interview, bro, and he didn't want to take no money from me. Like, he just wanted to do it. and show love. And he even bought merch from us. So like ever since then, bro, like, you know, I always try to, you know, hit him up or tag, and, you know, I know he's busy, but I'll never get mad at him, or, you know, if he don't respond or nothing, because like he ain't got to do shit for me. He don't owe me nothing, you know. So like just the fact that he even did that, you know, 3-4 years ago, what have you, was just a blessing anyways. And we, you know, got a lot of followers from that, you feel me?